In this video we are going to see about handheld tools safety. In particular we will look into electrical handheld grinders. In construction industry we are using handheld grinding tool in our day-to-day work activities. In Singapore construction industry has the greatest number of amputations, finger-related injury cases due to the operation of handheld electrical tools. In the year 2021 total of 610 major injury cases were reported. In those cases 18 major injury cases were cut/stabbed by objects caused by machineries. There were also 21,539 minor injury cases were reported. Out of those 379 injury cases were reported under cut/stabbed by objects by industrial machines tools. So, using of handheld tool properly is very important to prevent injuries. There are several key safe work practices that you require to follow for the safe use of handheld machineries. So, in this video we are going to see some bad practices and safe work methods. The first thing you have to keep in your mind when you want to work with handheld machine is selection of proper tool for your work. The person in this video carrying a section using handheld grinding machine. The selection of tool for cutting of hollow section is wrong. The angular grinder primarily has to be used for grinding works, it is not designed for extensive cutting works. Notice the video carefully, the hollow section was not properly secured, which may expose worker to struck by moving object hazards. Construction manager, engineer, site supervisor has to pre-plan work activity and identify the correct type of tool required to perform the work activity as per safe method statement. Also, it must be properly communicated to the ground level worker. Fiber cutter is the correct tool as per safe work procedure for carrying out extensive metal cutting works. Proper tool selection for your works will reduce hazards and injuries due to improper tool used for the activity. If you observe the person in the video, he collected the grinding tool from store for his work. But he didn't conduct any pre-use inspection of electrical tool condition prior to start the work. Failed to carry out pre-start inspection of electrical tools may expose the person using the machinery to hazards due to defective tools such as electrocution, amputation, cuts or other serious injuries. As per Code of Practice for Temporary Electrical Installation Color Coding System, 110 volts electrical rated industrial plug and socket should be in yellow color. 230 volts electrical rated tools industrial plug and socket should be in blue color. As you observe in the video, the worker was connecting 110 volt rated electrical tools socket with 230 volts rated power supply. If you connect 110 volts rated tool with 230 volts power source, the machine will malfunction and will lead to an accident. As part of the LTAGS requirement, all handheld tools operated at LTA work sites must be in 110 volts. In case of electric shock, the impact will be less severe in 110 volts. The 230 volts electrical power supply must be coupled with a 110 volt step-down transformer. This is a common unsafe practice that many people indulge in using a grinding machine. When we do not have proper tool to change the disc, we might take shortcuts by using improper tools such as screwdriver, hammer, or any other materials which we believe we can use to change the disc. If you look at the video, we can identify several unsafe practices. You may also notice that the power source was not disconnected by the worker before he proceeded to change the disc. Many of us may make similar mistake while working. Workers may think that they are very familiar with the machinery, without knowing the unsafe act may lead to a serious accident. The important things that you require to remember while changing the disc are, you have to disconnect the power source first. Second, make sure you have the proper and correct tools required to change the disc. Do ensure that the disc you are changing is correct and specified by manufacturer. The disc has to be changed based on your type of the activity. If you use unapproved type of disc or oversized disc, it may break while you are performing the job and will lead to an accident due to the difference in machinery RPM and disc RPM. Make sure you have locked the rotating motion of the machine using the button behind the tool with your finger throughout the changing of disc to ensure sufficient tightening of the nut. Importance of auto release switch. Currently the grinding machines available in market have two kinds of switches. It is highly recommended to procure handheld tools with auto release switch called deadman switch. As you observe in the video, there was a power failure while a worker was using a grinding machine. The tool used doesn't have auto release switch function. The worker didn't turn off the machine while he was checking the cause of the power interruption. The machine ran uncontrollably when the power back live. In many cases, it may lead to serious accidents. The use of a grinding machine with auto-release switch, or otherwise called as deadman switch, prevents accidental injuries. The auto-release switch has to be pressed by the worker for the machine to run. When the worker releases his hand from the switch will automatically turn off and cause the machine to stop. Even during the power interruption, if the power come back live, the machine will not turn on. The auto-release switch is usually used as a form of fail-safe system where they stop a machine with no operator and safeguard from potentially dangerous risks such as unintended activation of machinery or tools. Let's see this video for managing the defective tools by using lockout-tagout method. Many of you work in construction industry for a long time, so you might be using this kind of machineries in day-to-day work activities frequently. Sometimes people tend to repair the tools by themselves due to overconfidence in their capabilities and skills. Only trained mechanic or suppliers are allowed to repair or service the tools. You are not allowed to carry out any repair or modification of the tools. When you encounter a tool malfunction, or you hear any abnormal sound or observe any sparks from the machinery, or you observe overheating of hand tools, you should return the tool to your storeman, and you shall inform the nature of the defect to storeman. The defective tools must be labeled unsafe for use and sent for servicing. This procedure has to be followed to prevent other personnel from using the defective unsafe tools. And it will also prevent accidents due to the use of defective or damaged tools in your workplace. The installation and use of handles in handheld grinders are one of the important safety features to safeguard your fingers exposed to the moving parts of the grinding machine. So, it is important to ensure the handle is installed and used to hold the grinding machine safely. The handle in the grinding machine shall be repositioned either to the right side or left side in case of any obstruction. The rotating part guard shall be adjusted to prevent the exposure of fingers to moving parts of the machinery. Workers have to be trained to operate the grinding machine in safe manner. Position of rotating parts guard. Rotating parts guard is one of the key safety features provided by manufacturer of the tool to prevent your fingers exposed to the rotating parts of the machinery. In some congested work areas where you supposed to use grinding machine, workers might tend to remove the guard or tampering of guard position to carry out the task, which is unsafe to do so and will lead to serious injuries such as amputation, deep cuts and other abrasion injuries. Do not modify or remove the rotating parts guard from the grinding machine. Machine guards are your first line of defense against injuries caused by machine operation. Each machine must have adequate safeguards to protect operators and other employees in the immediate work area from hazards created by rotating parts, sparks, and flying debris. PPE is the last line of defense. Required to wear face shield instead of safety glasses, and when you are carrying out cutting or grinding works you have to remove the reflective vest and to wear full-sleeve cotton fire-resistant jacket. Anti-cut hand gloves to be worn instead of PVC-coated normal gloves. Make sure your personal protective equipment are in good condition. Make sure you are following the correct safe work method when you are going to handle a handheld electric grinder. Selection of proper machine to perform the work. Inspect your tools before you start the work. Use 110 volts rated electrical handheld tools. If machine malfunction, return to store and send for service. Use the machine with dead man switch. Do not remove the guard and handle. And wear appropriate PPE, always take time to take care of your fingers.